towards Michael in the lab coat.
Hello, everyone. My name is Micah Hoffman. I go to Montezuma Cortez High School, and for my internship, I did a 4-week internship at Oklahoma State University studying aerospace engineering. So I spent the majority of my time at the Unmanned Systems Research Institute, the USRI. I did it with a fellow intern, Logan Files, from Montrose. Those two rooms are the main workspace I did, and then I worked in, and the 3D printing and 3D printing room. The main 3 projects I worked on was a solar cell project, the Australian kite project, and an inflatable wing plane. So the first project we worked on was solar cell. So solar cell is a device that is sent up into the upper atmosphere to collect solar data, as well as weather data, which is what this was. This was not the first iteration of the build. Other people have tried it before, but there's had some problems that we were trying to fix. So we included sloped sides to catch the sun more easily, as well as thicker styrofoam to insulate the parts better so they didn't freeze. And that is our final design right there, which looks pretty cool. The next project we worked on was the Australian kite project. This wasn't too involved, but it was kind of fun flying the kites around. It was basically making a device to hold a camera. So it'd be pointing up. The kite would be sent to Australia during a solar eclipse, so it could record the solar eclipse from Australia. So the main part of this was building the ballast, which was a counterweight that would offset the weight of the camera, so it would always be pointing towards the sky. We did some testing on it, and while we were testing it, we actually got it stuck in one of the lights in the field, which took a little bit to get out, but it was okay in the end. The final thing we worked on was an inflatable wing plane. I wasn't able to finish this because I left a week early, but it was probably my favorite project we did. So an inflatable wing is being looked at to use in Mars missions because it has a large surface area, or it can have a large surface area, which is good for flying on Mars because of the thin atmosphere. As well as it's very compact when it's deflated, so it can be sent in the rover or in the rocket very easily and not take up too much space. So we started out by building a test wing, which is that foam board one. Foam board's like a thin kind of cardboard thing used for little planes. So after we built that, we attached the actual inflatable wing, and we also included a gyroscope, which was a device that could stabilize the plane so we wouldn't crash it while we were flying due to our bad flying. Some of the fun side projects we did, we did some model rockets, which are those up in the corner. We built some indoor kites. We made our own plane that could fly pretty well. And we also did a balloon drop from one of the large sports stadiums. I think it was a basketball stadium at OSU called Gallagher-Iba. That was pretty cool because the balloon was really big and it exploded when it dropped, which was fun. Outside the lab, I stayed in a pretty nice apartment about 1.5 miles off of where I was working. I went to a local youth group, which I did some pretty fun stuff with them. I did a little campus exploring. We went to this building called Endeavor, which is that building with the car in front of it. That building was pretty cool because there was this really cool automatic foosball table, so you'd play against a robot that almost never lost. And then I also went to Eskimo Joe's, which is highly recommended by everyone else, and I got those chili cheese fries, which are pretty good. Some of the things I learned a lot about, I got introduced to CADing, which is computer-aided designing. It can be used for things like 3D printing and laser cutting. I learned basic flight principles because we needed to know those to build our planes. I learned problem solving because most of the stuff we did didn't work first try, so we had to keep improving it until it did work. I also learned a lot about independence because while I did have a roommate, I had to get my own food. I had to get myself where I had to go, and it was just a lot to handle, so I definitely improved on independence. Some advice for future Pinterns, if you guys decide to become Pinterns, take lots of notes and pictures because they help you remember the experience really well. Try new things because you'll regret it if you don't, because most of them are like once-in-a-lifetime things. Make the most of your time because while it may seem pretty short or pretty long, it actually fly by pretty fast. And also have fun because it's a really great experience. I'd like to say a big thank you to Sarah Holbrook, everyone else at Pinhead Institutes, Dr. Jamie Jacob, the USRI director, and the USRI mentors as well, because they helped make this a great experience. Thank you.